Okay, so that was a pain in the butt. Scrambling around on the floor trying to get under everything and get color everywhere. Yeah, so now I'm up to the tedious task of going over the whole thing with 1000 grit paper to sand down the clear coat, get rid of any orange peel, and then going to 1500 grit. And then 3 different rubbing compounds with the 321 system by 3M, and just going over it, and probably going to take quite a while to get through the whole thing because there's a lot of area to cover, a lot of awkward positions to try and polish in up underneath, and all of that good stuff before I can even get to spraying the black that has to be sprayed on the hood, and do some of the graphic details also. So that's where it sits right now. Like I said, just going over it with this is the first compound here. Trying to get rid of the orange peel, and so like I said, very tedious. Wet sanding. All right, in between things, taking a break from sanding and buffing and sanding some more and buffing some more. Took the seats out of the car. I had them in the car for the reason of when I finally got the car back together mechanically, I had to have all this hooked up to see, how everything fired up and warning lights and all that other stuff. But anyway, they're back out of the car, and it's time middle of next week to carry them over to the upholstery shop and have the covers put on them. Actually, not covers. They're actually going to reupholster the seats themselves, all the padding and everything. One of the problems when rebuilding a car that has had deployed airbags, if it has cloth seats like this does, is the powder that comes out. It impregnates the seats pretty good. Over the course of having this car sit in the shop, I've cleaned the seats, just with a shop vac. I can't tell you how many times. And each time I have, within a couple of months, the powder will reemerge through the fabric. And so early on, I decided I was going to have to. You can see how the seats right now. You can see there's a discoloration going on there. If I did a wet upholstery clean, it probably with an extraction vac, it probably would get it out. But I can't be guaranteed that that's the case. That I'd get it all out. That it wouldn't reemerge again. So I'm going to have these recovered with cat skins, which is leather, and so I've got to drop these off, like I said, in the middle of the week. There's the rear seats, and also I had to disassemble the door panels and the console and everything so that they can reupholster these parts also. The reason that I'm having that done is because the future owner of the car decided he wanted to change the color of the seats to a white leather with a orange stitching, so that's what we're going to do. And so that necessitated all of the armrests also being changed out, and I'll be taking the door panels and I'll be painting them out also to match the seats. Once I get the seat leather, then I'll be able to get a color match. But these are the rear quarter panel seats, or door covers, if you will, and then there's the actual door covers right here. The only difficulty I had here is these are not really meant to come apart. The door handles they're plastic welded in. They have these little studs that stick through, and then I guess at the factory they just melt them over. There's no screws on the back or anything to take those off, so you have to literally sand down those plastic welds and then drill out the little dowels that are sticking through in order to remove that stuff. So, and the difficulty there comes in reattaching everything, because there's very little material to attach back to, and this particular plastic doesn't like anything to stick to it. And the reason is it's it's engineered so that it cleans up really well. So it has a lot of petroleum and a lot of oily. It's a very oily plastic, and it's very difficult to get anything to stick to it. Glues and epoxies and everything would just pop right off of it, almost like it has a release agent in it. So I've got that adventure to look forward to, trying to reattach the armrests back to the doors, and got a few ideas. But that's down the road. But it's time to send this stuff out and get it recovered, so that when I'm done messing about in there, I can start to reassemble things, hopefully. Anyway, that's where we're at right now. Okay, slowly working myself down the sides. Got most of the roof not done, but it's done to the first compound. It's a 321 system by 3M, so number 1 is the most coarse. After you wet sand it down to 1500, then apply the first compound, and then use buffer and a specific pad for that that grit, and buff it down. So we've got that quarter on the other side, this quarter, the roof, the deck lid, and this door. I still got to work my way around. I'm in the process of wet sanding the front fender right now, and try to get rid of some of that orange peel. I'm not going to get rid of all the orange peel, because I was told by someone that that's something that some folks make a mistake of doing, is getting rid of all of that, and especially if you got a metallic. What that does is the slight orange peel, you see that on new cars, is designed to bring the light in at different angles, supposedly, and that helps to bring out the metallic in the paint. So also, I'm a little nervous about burning through the clear, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Anyway, so to take a break from that, I can only stand to do that for about 3 to 4 hours a day before my arm gets a little tired holding up the buffer, in which case it's very easy to make a mistake and get that thing running a little too fast, or to get it the wrong angle. And like I said, you can burn through the clear, and then you got real big problems. Anyway, so I started running the wiring harnesses, separating them out, because this wiring harness carried the wiring for the lock mechanism, but it also carried the wiring for the tail lights that were in the that rode up with the deck lid. In other words, there was the backup lights, and part of the turn signals were in the deck lid, and then the other half of the lights were fixed to the body in the bumper structure. So I had to separate those wires out. So I've got that done. I've got that harness ready to get looped up and over and across. And again, what I'm doing to try and make some better use of my time while I'm taking a break from the buffing is I'm starting to work on the wiring harness for the tail lights, and I'm separating out that wiring. This is the backup light in the center here. So I've got the bumper back off the car, which I didn't want to do, but it had to come back off in order to do this, make sure I have clearance for the wires, and I can do a neat job of soldering it all up. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. Oh, there's the seats getting ready to go off the upholster in the back of the truck, so that's tomorrow morning, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. So we're buffed out with the first stage of the compound. It's all sanded down 1,000 and 1,500, and then buffed with the first stage. I have to go over it twice more with the next 2 stages, but hopefully that won't be as arduous, based on the fact that I won't have to sand before the buffing. Anyway, the seats came back after a couple days from the upholsterer, and they're covered with white leather. Catskins is the brand that I used out of California, and then they have local installers to put them on for you. And so this is So white leather with orange stitching. So I wasn't a big fan of this idea, but I'm going to tell you they look pretty good to me right now. So it should be pretty interesting to see the contrast of the black and the white and the orange all together. Anyway, that's where we're at right now.